Girl, I gotta remember when I'm doing these pre-records to hit the unmute button. hmm I gotta remember to hit the unmute button. Girl, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm here with a retro review for Dynasty Season 1, Episode 11. Now remember, this is Dynasty, not the reboot. This is Circa 1981, the original that we're doing, because I seen that some people was confused. So I wanted to clarify that we are indeed doing Dynasty Circa 1981. Okay. So let's get into the review, y'all. I hope y'all can see me because it seems dark, and I ain't trying to have it too dark on myself because I'm a chocolate drop anyway. But this was a pretty good episode, and it's leading up to some good shit. So stay with me. I'ma bless you. We start the episode off with Blake. He's outside on the Carrington land, and he say he wanted to take a little walk before dinner. Michael, that old chauffeur of his that's laying up with his daughter, making her dip it low and spread it wide. He comes up and he says that he's aware that he had him beat up. And Blake says, he said, one would think that then you learned a valuable lesson. In fact, you may even come to appreciate it one day. But he did not never admit to him being the one that did it. Michael, on the other hand, came bearing bad news. Messy motherfucker. He came to bear bad news. He came to bear news and said that he not sure if Blake will like it or not, but he says it's about Crystal and the emerald necklace. We didn't get to hear what he told him because the scene takes us to Stephen and Fallon at his new apartment and they cook. She done got some sauce on her damn out blouse. So he sent her into the room to just get a t-shirt. Now, all she was supposed to be in there doing is getting this t-shirt. But when she comes back, she's got a piece of Claudia's lingerie that she apparently left there. And now she's being nosy, wanting to know who it belonged to, and asking him, are you going to invite her to dinner? It's more than enough. He said, nope, not giving you any information. Then she gonna tell him, well, maybe you should tell dad. He said, why? He said she said it might make him feel better. Steven said so he can take out an advertisement in the newspaper to announce his son slept with a woman and he's not such a freak after all. Girl, please. Fallon asked that he just give their dad a break and said that he couldn't hurt it wouldn't hurt for Steven to tell his dad. And Steven said, why? To make him love me? Why does he have to be told that I slept with a woman for him to feel love for me? So is that some type of requirement that I don't know about that I got to feed his ego just for him to show unconditional love to me? So she asked, do you love him? He said, yeah, I do, probably more than you. Okay. Then in another scene, we see Crystal bringing dinner to Blake. He burning the midnight oil as of late. She says to him, Cecil Colby birthday's in a few days and I wanted to throw him a party. Blake snaps and says, nope, and asks her to leave him alone. When asked why he's being so sharp with her, he asked if she's been faithful to him and she told him the truth. With the truth, even if I tell you this truth, would you believe me? She said she had, he's a hard man to live with. And he said, I've been told that by others before, but answer the question. And she said, no, I don't have nothing to reveal because there's nothing to reveal. And she got up and walked out of the room. Now, back at Stevens, they're having dinner. Jeff has arrived, and Jeff tells Fallon he found out why he didn't get the position in Louisiana. He said that it seems as if Blake had a little conversation with Cecil, and that's where the decision came to not give it to him. She claims she don't know nothing about that. She said it's not the time nor the place to discuss it. He said he can't discuss it at home. at Blake Carrington's home, and she gonna tell him, if you ain't man enough to stand up to my father or your uncle, don't come crying to me. I said, "Ooh, this bitch is cold, and them motherfuckers she cold." Now Joseph, one of the Carringtons' house servants, and Blake are playing pool, and Blake not on his game today. He said his mind not in the game, and he says he's finding more and more that he can't trust the people immediately around him. And as he's saying that, Crystal comes in and speaks, and he said he changed his mind. He wants to throw Cecil a birthday party at his favorite restaurant, and she tells him he tells her where to book it, and then he hit her with, "I would love to see you in that emerald necklace set." Remember, this emerald necklace set gonna keep coming up for a while, y'all. So stay with us. We gonna find out what it is. I know what it is, but we gonna find out together again. She agrees to do it, but you can see that in her face, she feels defeated because she ain't got the original necklace. Remember, she hocked the necklace to give Matthew money, and she replaced it with a replica, not nearly expensive as the original that she provided for him. Okay, she's sitting around. Crystal is sitting around looking worried because they on the plane now. They have to take the Carrington's jet to get to this restaurant. So everybody is on the plane, right? And she's sitting around looking worried, and then goes over to Andrew and have a private conversation. She wants to know if she can get her credit without Blake knowing about it. And he assures her that he won't tell Blake about this, but don't ever question or test his loyalty to Blake. I said, ooh, child. Valen walks up to Cecil after Blake and Bethany, because Cecil's there with his date, Bethany, on the plane for his birthday party. She walks up to Cecil after Blake goes to show Bethany the rest of the plane. She's jealous of Bethany, clearly. And it's clear that she wants that he said it's clear he liked Bethany, and he said he feels as if Bethany cares for him. Fallon said, "That sounds like wedding bells could be in our future." And he said, "Well, if it does, can you find it in your heart to RSVP respectfully and gracefully?" And she said yes, and grabbed his hand. But guess who's watching this whole interaction? Jeff. So now Jeff know more, because see, remember, she had just told Jeff when they was getting ready that her father, that his uncle actually told her, "If you marry my nephew, then I will bail your father out." And you remember at the beginning in one of the earlier episodes, and you can check the review, Blake didn't know where he was going to get that money. Well, the way he got the money to bail himself out was through Cecil Colby. And how did he get that from Cecil? Because Cecil was having an affair with, well, he was sleeping with Fallon, but he didn't want to be with Fallon. He threw Fallon off on his nephew, Jeff. And that's how it happened. And she got mad when he was asking her why she married him. And she basically blurted it out before this party even started. Okay. So now he knows that his uncle only bailed Blake out because Fallon married him. Now she tried to take it back and say that she didn't really mean that. She just said that because he was mad. But see, now that done put him on high alert. And seeing the interaction of them on that plane, and then she grabs his hand too, child, he know. So once they land and they're at the restaurant, Cecil's favorite spot, Jeff is dancing with Cecil's date, Bethany. Oh, they are dancing as Blake, Cecil, and Fallon looks on. Blake asks Fallon, can she do something about it? And she says no, and suggests they have him beat up the same way he beats up other men in her life. Blake says at the moment that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Blake hit the champagne glass, and she ain't gonna help, trying to get everybody attention to come to the table because he wants to have a birthday toast for his good friend Cecil. Okay. He says it's no secret that Cecil recently bailed him out some trouble. And Jeff said, it only cost you your daughter, which isn't a high cost to pay for survival, right? Baby Jeff is going. Cecil asked Jeff to sit down before he makes an even bigger fool of himself. And he tells his uncle, nope, he can't. You know I'm a dancing thief, soul of a gypsy. Jeff, a little drunk, as is Bethany, and he says to Bethany, um, let me introduce you to some of the people here. Bethany realizes that she might be in for something. Jeff said, nope, let me introduce you to everybody. He said, you know Cecil, he's a white slave, but that's my uncle. Of course you know him. He buys and sells people like cattle. She said, not Cecil. He said, absolutely. Then he moved on to Andrew Lord. He said was once one of the most brilliant criminal attorneys in Colorado. But he gave up his career to shuffle papers for Blake Carrington. But who is he to judge? Andrew, when he has been bought for a little spoiled girl who treats him like a monkey on a string. Oh, child. He said he said it didn't even cost the price of a new polo pony for Blake to sell him. To buy him for his beloved daughter. Blake Carrington. He said, I never liked you very much, and as a kid, I was a little bit scared of you. He said he was not anxious to have him as a father-in-law, but tonight he must confess he feels sorry for him because he's been bought too, just like the rest of them. Child, depending on your point of view. Blake asked if he was done, and he said, not just quite. I got one more. He said the one that we should be drinking to and toasting tonight is Crystal, because she married into this emerald-studded zoo without any preparation at all. And she don't know the price that she's going to have to pay for marrying into this family. He told her good luck, because Crystal, you're going to need it. And tells her, may the force be with you. Crystal now upset because she know now that not only does Blake know, not only does Fallon know, but Jeff knows. She gets up and runs off. And Jeff says, well, now that I'm done, if it was anyone at this table that I haven't offended, excuse me, but I promised this young lady here, Bethany, another dance. Blake sends Fallon out to go check on Crystal. She tried to protest, but he told her go, and she got up and went. She goes out to check on Crystal and says Jeff was drunk and doesn't know what he's saying. Crystal says it's not about Jeff. So she says it's about that necklace, huh? She said that I know. I know that you hocked the original so that you can give the money to Matthew Blaisdell. I'm aware of all of that, and that you replaced it with a replica. I did the same thing, child, once for a hockey player I was messing with. Mm. She says that she really wished she could help Crystal out. And Crystal said, do you? She said, yes. Yes, it's a certain honor among thieves. She said, but as far as the necklace, she's on her own with that, and walked away. Now, back inside, Bethany is so drunk, Jeff has to hold her up, and he eventually sits her down in a chair by the piano player. Fallon comes in and was about to sit down, but Jeff grabs her arm and says that he and his wife will catch a cab back to the plane. She tried to protest, but Blake told her, go with your husband. So she obeys. Before he leaves, he tells his Uncle Cecil to pick up his lady over there. He thinks she passed out. Cecil got up to go get Bethany, but Blake stopped him and did a birthday toast to him. Now, let's go back to Denver, because Matt is coming out of his office when Michael, the chauffeur for the Carringtons, comes up and says that his boss wants to speak with him. When he get in the car, it's Valid. She wants to talk about the necklace. He gets in and she's saying that it's a big mess. She says that you don't want to be saying that you don't know how Crystal got that money because we all do. She basically wanted to talk about getting Crystal out of her father's life and out of her life and putting him back with Matt. I mean, yeah, with Matt, because she said they in love and she don't want to see them have to be without each other. He said, child, so you basically saying you want to pave a smooth way for love and not have it cluttered with tumbleweeds. And child, he said, yeah, yeah. Child, he was done with her at that point. He told her to have Michael pull this thing over. I'm gonna get out. So I was gonna take you back after we talk. He said we are done talking and tells Matt, Michael himself, let me up out of here. Pull over and let me out. And he got out. Now, let me see. Back at the house, Blake and Crystal are talking about um they general talking. He goes to open up this bottle of liquor that he says he was given 30 years ago. And this liquor is so important that they even serve it in the White House. She wants him to not open it. She said he's had enough. And he says he's fine and says, you seem to be very worried about me. She said, I am. She says she is because he does seem she does really care. She says that he's been drinking too much as of late. She care about her husband who had his chauffeur beaten up. He said, oh, you know about that. She said, I was there. And he said, what would she have done? What would you have had me to do? Have a duel with this man over my daughter's honor? She said, why couldn't you just have fired the man? He said, for what? It wasn't his fault. And then asked what happened to the days of when daughters were virgins and sons took over their father's business and their wives cherished their husbands to forsake everybody else. He asked her, did she love him? He said, yes. She said, yes. He said, more than any man? And she said, yes. So he told her, show him. Child, she went up there and laid him with some lip lock real quick. And obviously that didn't convince him because he grabbed that liquor bottle and walked out of the room on her. So the next scene takes us to Ted. Ted then showed up at Stephen's job, say he took a leave of absence from work because he wanted to see Stephen and be near him. Stephen tells him that he's getting his life together and with the woman, things have changed. Child, he wanted to go to his apartment and wait for him. And he allowed him to do so. Put a paperclip in that part. See, that's why you don't try to push the gay off of somebody. If they gay, they gay. Let them live their best good life on their terms. You can't put a piece of pussy in a gay man's place and think that that's going to change how he feels truly. Because if that was the case, he would have told him, no, I don't want you to come to my apartment. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. But see, he still feels the way he feels on the inside. Now, he might have dipped off into some WAP that belonged to Claudia, but he's still a gay man. So later, Crystal meets up with Ned, and he bearing a gift. He is giving her back the money that she gave him to start the business when he really needed it. And she is happy because she says this will help her tremendously. Back at Steven's place, he allowed Ted to come over there and they over there playing this game, something like Jeopardy. Then Ted asked point blank in the period, could I stay here with you tonight? And he said yes. Because once again, you cannot make him not be gay by putting a piece of pussy in his life. He might dip in the Red Sea, but he going back to the lakes and rivers that he used to. Point blank in the period. And I think that it's sad because see, when I was a child, I didn't understand. But now that I'm a full grown adult, I think that it's sad That ain't just happened to Stephen. That happened in homes today. That is happening in homes today. Parents are so caught up in the old way of thinking that instead of just loving your child unconditionally for who the fuck they are, you want to try to change them. I told y'all I got kids, not a child, kids in the community. And I love them children just as much after finding out as I did when they was in my gut. And I was praying over them every day. Parents need to check themselves because this is a new world. And in the new world, I'm never going to be harsh on anybody, family or friend who is gay, because that's who they are. It ain't no different than me being up here being a heterosexual woman and liking to jump down on a piece of dick. It's just who I am. And if they choose to be same gender loving, that is on them. They can make that decision. I would rather my kids tell me the fucking truth than hold that in and be running around trying to hide shit from me. And eventually it gets to be too much. Because let us not forget, there are people in the world that are going to be mean and hateful to them for their choices in life. I damn sure am not going to be just like them. I'm going to be above them. So it just pisses me off that kids have, you got many kids that wind up killing themselves because people can't accept it. And the main people that can't accept it is their parents. Don't you know, parents, that we are the foundation? If we put that love into them, it makes it easier to deal with the hate that the girl, I done went on a tangent. Anyway, child, let me leave that alone. Crystal went back to the broker that she went to sell that necklace. And unfortunately, she can't buy that necklace back because it has been sold to someone in South America, and that's where the episode ends. I'm sorry, y'all. I went off on a tangent because I get pissed off about that. And now that I'm out, like I said, when I was a kid, in my mind, I used to think, why Steven just can't do what his dad want? He could have everything in the world. His daddy would love him, and he could be the next runner-up to run Denver Carrington and everything else. But now that I'm an adult woman who has been through some things, I do not see it the same way. I would never stop loving mine or treat mine like they got some type of, X on their back or some type of disease simply because they choose to be same gender loving. That ain't right. But I ain't going no further with that because child and I already went off on a tangent. But that was the conclusion of child, what season we on? We on season 1, episode this is episode 11, entitled The Birthday Party. And all that shit that went on at their birthday party is why that shit was named The Birthday Party. Because baby Jeff came out of a whole bag on the whole table. I found that to be a key. His eyes was open and he truly see that he got a wife by way of his uncle selling, or Blake sold his daughter to bail himself out. And then that's just crazy, child. Fallon was a motherfucking willing participant. This shit getting good, y'all. Stay with me. And I appreciate everybody that comes through and watches the retro reviews. I know this is old as shit, but this is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And when I was, invited to join doing retro reviews with Really Be TV and Every Reviews, I thought this was an excellent idea. I kind of fell off of it a little bit, but now that I'm back on it, thanks to one of my den mates, my love things, Jay Ray, I'm enjoying doing it again. So I'm doing it for the joy of it, not so much for the views. But I appreciate y'all for everybody that's coming through and watching it. I appreciate you coming through and getting a little blast from the past from me. I don't know when this season ends and we're gonna go into the next season. Or I'm gonna jump in and do another old TV show review starting from season 1. If you have any suggestions of shows that you would like to see me review that is a blast from the past, please put it in the comment section and I will see what I can do. Because I'm gonna keep doing these even after this season ends. I don't know if I'm gonna stay with this show or move to another one. So if you have any suggestions shows that used to come on that you like, I'll see if I can find them and purchase them so that we can come back and continue the retro reviews. It's all up to you guys. Let me know. It's only a handful of us that watch this. I don't give a damn. I just enjoy reliving it because I see it today totally different than when I was a young girl watching it, right before bed because I had to go to school the next morning. So that let you know how old shit is. So just let me know in the panic section, what would you guys like to see, because we are getting close to the end of the first season of Dynasty, and I want to either roll into a different show if possible, or I may have to purchase the second season. Either way, we're going to keep it going. Y'all let me know down in the comments, okay? Thank you so much for watching. As always, you do not have to be great to get started, but you must get started in order to be great. And it is the depth of your struggle that will determine the ultimate height of your success. Have a wonderful remainder to your Sunday, because Sunday will be when you see this. So have a great Sunday, and I'll see you guys back in the den on Monday. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.